Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this platform called CryptoSprout. I want to welcome you on board. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depends when you are listening to this voice note. I have just made a recent research trying to know why so many people complain about how they fell in the crypto space. Yet, when you go to online to browse about how to become successful or businesses to do, lately, I think from 4 years downwards, every of whatever that is being written online concerning how to be successful or businesses to engage on or investments to put your money into, they cannot but speak and not telling you to invest on cryptocurrency and forex. These are the two businesses that are trending as far as success in this age that we are into is concerned. Now, let me start by saying in the days back or so many generations ago, or let me say during the time life began, let me start by telling you that life started by people trading by barter, what is called trade by barter. Trade by barter was a system whereby people exchange goods and services by what they have. Then, if you had beans, for instance, and I have rice, I just simply come to you to exchange your beans for my rice in the same measure. So as time goes by, people began to, improve into many other mediums or many other channels in which they can transact without necessarily waiting for someone that will need what they have before they can transact. So the idea of cowrie came on board, and people began to use cowrie as a means of exchange or as a medium of exchange. Cowrie was being introduced, and people were using it for the means of their transactions. Again, time progresses, people also invented another way of transacting, which they began to use certain natural minerals or natural resources, something like gold, silver, diamond, as a collateral in which they can put down for them to get what you have, and they can literally come back to you and get back their gold, their diamond, or whatever that you have given as a collateral. So now I may not chronologically mention how these things were being used, but let me just make it a point of summary by telling you, as time progresses, we now introduced what is called coin, money coin. So we began to use coin as a means of exchange. The coin money was being introduced, and because those days when people carried a whole lot of money, because of the heaviness of the iron or the metal, people began to get tired of exchanging with coin. It it was also called fiat currency, coin. So they introduced coin as a means of transactions. And in the developments or in the expansion of technology, people invented paper money. So they now said, since carrying the coin is a whole lot of job, especially when you have a huge transaction, to carry the coin, or rather the coins, was something else. So they now introduce the paper money that we are using today, still in the line of fiat currency. So as time progresses, we introduced, the recent times, we introduced electronic money. That is to say, you don't necessarily have to go to the bank to know how much you have. They give you what is called alerts, and that alert does not mean that your money is in the electronic media, but that shows you that you have so amount with the bank, or as a kind of evidence that you have money with the bank. Assurance, and also boosting your confidence to know that the bank recognizes that you have money with them. But there is something I want to say that is bringing me down to our discussion today, because a whole lot of people are finding it very difficult to align themselves with the recent development of technology. Now, let me tell you something. What comes to your, okay, let me ask you rather, what comes to your mind when you hear cryptocurrency? Or what do you think when people discuss cryptocurrency? Some time ago, a particular lawyer was telling us that he was not going to involve himself in online transactions, that he was not going to use ATM, he was not going to do anything with app. And we asked him his reasons, which he tabled his reasons because of the scammers, the fraudsters, that he needed nobody to get into his account by means of porosity that is caused by electronic system of banking. And we laughed at him because for him to call himself a learned man does not really make him a learned man. That could be a slogan in which they use to address themselves as those who are lawyers. You know, we laughed at him because we knew why we were laughing. He was like looking at us, what are you guys laughing? He was like, what are you guys laughing? We laughed the more, we laughed him to scorn, because we knew that the direction in which the world is going, that there will be a time he will have no choice than to align himself with the development on board. So there are certain things that nobody needs to beg you for. You see, some industrialists, when prepaid meter came out, they were like, we needed not prepared meter because they wanted a situation whereby they can lobby the NEPA guys or the PhD holders or whatever they are called, you know, lobby them for them to have a kind of, you know, consistent light and the cheating on the government. But today, so many of them had no choice than to embrace the modern technology. So that is what is happening today. A whole lot of us, I know some business guys that I told this cryptocurrency. I was living with one of them when I was living a place called Ajao Estates. And I told him, I said, Mr. Young Man, when I went to his house, because he became my friend, not just a neighbor, we were chatting then, we were discussing. I told him about cryptocurrency. He said, what is it for? I explained. I tried to explain. He couldn't get it. The more I tried to explain, the more he became afraid of me, thinking I was trying to scam him or thereabout. I said, okay, no problem. You know, instead of us to have problems as friends, let's just forget about it. I think just last 2 months, I called him. He was telling me something. He said, young man, you know that thing you told me when we were living together? Right now, the guy, he has his house already. He's no more living, though all of us left the house. I packed to Ireland while himself remained in Ajawa State. Later, he packed into his house and all that. So we parted our ways for some time. So 2 months ago, we were discussing. He now was like reminding me. He said, you were telling me something like cryptocurrency some time ago or some years back. How far about it? I said, I'm still on it. That's what I'm doing. He said, but guy, who really taught you that in then? Because right then, I never heard it about, I never heard it before. I never heard anything about cryptocurrency. How come were you able to be such knowledgeable about cryptocurrency? I said, that's why I'm an online person. I'm very much exposed on the online. So he himself is a business guy. He goes to China. He goes to Korea. He goes to so many countries to bring his goods and all that to sell here in Nigeria. But at the same time, he did not have the knowledge of what cryptocurrency was all about. And at the same time, do you know that so many people in the government, even as of today, this thing called cryptocurrency is still sounding so strangely, so mysterious to their hearings. Up to date, I mean up to date. I'm not saying yesterday's, up to date. So the reason why we have taken our time to create this platform, because we are on a mission of exposition. How do I mean? I mean that this thing is a call, a mandate put on us, a group of guys that have passion for teaching and for lecturing people what cryptocurrency is all about. That is why we will never ask you to pay us to get on board on the platform. We're not going to ask you to pay. And if anybody is chatting with you or chatting on you or chatting to you or whichever you want to put it, of any quantifying adjective, whosoever that is getting on you on any form of social media, whether from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whichever way, telling you to pay, we are not collecting any dime from you for this learning. All you just need to do for us is just register yourself and follow the necessary procedure, which payment is not inclusive. So listen to me and listen very well. We have come to educate you. We have come to elaborate the meaning of cryptocurrency. What is cryptocurrency? So many people hearing about crypto here and there. What is it all about? I have not heard it before. Some said I've been hearing it from my friends, from family, friends, and all that, from family members and all that. I don't know what it's all about, crypto. So please, can you explain? Right now, when you go to online or when you go to internet, however you want to put it, you hear people say, cryptocurrency, I will teach you how I am making 100,000 every day. I will teach you how I made $1 million in 1 month and all that and all that. And none of them is willing to teach you what is it all about. They can only hype to you and give you means in which you can pay them. In other words, they are not necessarily telling you how much they are making because they want to teach you, but they want to hype you so that you can give them your money. I'm not saying that all of them are scammers. No, there are so many of them out there that are saying the truth. But I want to tell you something. When your dependency is on people's knowledge for you to survive, I tell you, this is a natural phenomenon about man. When man knows that you are relying on him, he will remote you. He will do all sort of things with you and joke and play with your emotions and even your money. So, but when you have acquired enough knowledge, there is nobody that will take you for granted, because when he begins to use certain terminologies which you don't understand, you will ask him questions, and by asking him questions, he will know that you are not just an ordinary desperator or desperado who is trying to survive. So, because so many people on the internet, they are taking advantage of people's gullibility to scam them and sometimes to render them useless of their money. So, what am I talking about? You need necessary knowledge, you need basic knowledge to ride on the road or on the space, on the crypto space to survive. You need knowledge. You need a depth knowledge. I mean depth knowledge, not just surface knowledge. You need a depth knowledge to survive in the crypto world. We started this thing 5 years ago, 2017, and so many people among us then that were privileged to be having information from their people in abroad. They told us a whole lot of things and took our money, and nobody was there to give us a guide. Nobody was there to direct us. We were just doing trial and error, and we really suffered. But that is not why I'm here to tell you how we suffered, but I'm here to pass my knowledge to those who may fall such victims in which we fell in the time past. So we want to bring you on board onto this platform called the CryptoSprout. The CryptoSprout. So I want to go back to the question that I asked. What comes to your brain? What comes to your mind when you hear about cryptocurrency? Now, let me tell you something very striking. Cryptocurrency is not all about the coins, as told you by many people. It is not all about the coin. This is all about blockchain. Blockchain. If you go to many countries today, their BVN is built on blockchain. What is blockchain? Blockchain is, as the name implies, blocks that are in chain. Now, when information is stored in a database and they are in chain, that is what is called blockchain. So when you have a whole lot of blocks and they are all in chain, that is what is called blockchain. So I'm trying to simplify the meaning, the interpreted meaning of blockchain. I don't want to elaborate it because I'm now speaking from, I'm speaking in a layman's dilution, so that you've got to understand what blockchain is all about. Maybe in my next voice note, I will give you a real expansionational knowledge on the word blockchain. But right now, I'm going to specify my teaching five components for learning. How do I learn? So I have these 5 nuggets that will put you through how to learn. So I am just trying to lay a foundation because we are just starting, and a whole lot of you, by the time you follow us all through on our pages, on our subsequent voice notes, and also going with us through the media of Zoom meetings, you are going to learn more. And our job is to make sure that you become a graduate on this crypto race. So what are the 5 nuggets that require you to learn? Number 1, how do I learn? I learn by humility. Whatever you want to learn in this life in general, you need to humble yourself. You know, so many of you don't need to come to us because you have doctorate degree in a particular field, and because of that, you are learning with pride. You can't learn nothing about cryptocurrency. You have to humble yourself. Somebody said everybody is a graduate. depends the field in which you have graduated from. It is true. I learned a story of a particular professor who was trying to cross through a particular river to another village or to another city. And he was to cross by the boat of a particular young guy, very small boy. It was a riverine area. And this small boy was being approached by this professor while they were sailing on the boat. The professor began to tell the young man and said, "You are supposed to be in school by now. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And this guy was blowing grammar. I mean, the professor blowing grammar. So much that this guy became so much confused. And the guy said to himself within his heart, "I'm going to show you that everybody is a graduate, depends on the field. Everybody is a professor in his own field." Do you know what happened? The young man came to the middle of the sea, according to the narrative, and jumped inside the water, and the boat began to float. And the professor was shouting and crying, shouting on top of his voice and saying to the young man, "Why do you want to kill him? Why do you want to kill him here? We wanted the boat to capsize. Why have you decided to do this and all that?" And in the end, the young man saw that if he didn't surface back, the professor was going to die in the water. So he now came back, jumped inside the boat, and sailed the boat all through to the dry land. As he came out, the professor was breathing and breathing up and breathing down, panting for life. And the young man now looked at his face and said to his face, "Have you now seen that everybody is a professor, but depends the field in which you are a professor?" The professor said to him, "Now I know. Now I know." Now, this is what I'm trying to say here. If you come on board on our platform, you have to put aside whatever you have or whosoever you are. Don't approach us with your educational background. Don't approach us with the money you have. If you want to have more money, if you want to be updated, if you want to advance in the crypto space, you need to learn about it. And in this learning, you need to humble yourself. That is number one nugget. The number two nugget, it requires patience. Patience, they said, is a virtue. In this life, you need to be patient. If you want to learn, you need to be patient. If you are not patient enough, you may get worried. As you dash in, you may also dash out that way. So it requires patience. It requires patience to be consistent with us, because we are going to be bringing to you precepts upon precepts of how these things work in the crypto space. We are going to be unveiling so much hidden things that people that collected huge amount of money cannot tell you on this platform. So all we need from you is your patience. Don't expect us to tell you everything in just one meeting. It is not going to be possible. It's going to be unveiled per time. So you have to be patient with us. The number three nuggets among the components, values that I stated, endurance. Someone may say, is patience not the same thing with endurance? Not at all. Patience is not a substitute to endurance. Endurance means to endure. To endure means to be persistent in your waiting. To endure hardness. According to dictionary interpreted meaning, it says one's stamina, one's long stamina, one's long persistence, one's long, consistency in every field, in everything. So you have to, for you to learn, you have to endure. You have to endure. You have to be tolerant. There are certain words we may use that may not be fitable to you because so many people are serving you where you work. But here, you have to endure all of these things for you to learn from us. We are not saying we are going to be insulting. We are not going to be insulting. We are not going to use vulgar words. We are not going to use any form of downgrading or disdaining statements. No, that's not what we are saying. But what we are saying is that you have to endure for you to learn. Now, what is the next nugget? The next nugget, number 4, is you have to study on your own. You have to study. There are certain things we are going to be teaching you. You don't need to solely depend on us for the explanation or for the elucidation. You are going to, on your own, engage yourself with certain disposals, for learning about. Sometimes you have to go online, research by yourself some of the things we are going to be telling you, and by doing this, you are going to come up to an extent in knowledge. What else do we have here? We have number 5, the last and not but the least, questions. Questions. For you to learn, you have to be very available for asking questions. Ask questions. There's no way you learn without asking questions. If you go to classes, you see that most students that ask questions are always the most learned student. They are the most knowledgeable students. Those ones that you assume that they have known it, that they don't ask questions, watch it. Most times you see them fail. Try to be inquisitive. Ask us questions, and we are going to answer you. And by answering you, you will know so many things you don't know before. So our channels will be open for you to ask questions, and we are going to answer you without any hesitation. So I think, what else do I need to say? For every solution to every sickness, it takes diagnosis. So diagnose and know if actually you need to know about cryptocurrency. Then success begins with knowledge. Success begins with knowledge. There is no success without knowledge. Every field that you want to go into, you don't become a lawyer by wishing to be a lawyer, and you don't become a graduate by going to one of the university's gates and staying there and say you want to be a graduate. You must to enroll yourself in the school and get along with all the necessary requirements and all the demanding requirements for you to become a graduate. And in the end, you have to defend what you said you have read. So we're going to be equipping you with all the basics and all the necessary knowledge required for you to get indebted in the crypto space. And I tell you, with all sense of experience, as you begin to know about crypto, you will see how you are going to excel and make much money with just little in the crypto space. So I'll be drawing the curtain here today. In our subsequent meetings, we are going to be treating so many things that bother people in the crypto space. See you at the top. The top is for those who seek knowledge. Thank you.